Tune in to the Diva Hustle Show.
Hey, you guys, thanks for tuning in to the Diva Hustle Show. Today, our guest is Jenna. She's the entrepreneur of Pearl Capital Management, which is a firm company. Thank you, Jenna, for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So, share with me a little bit about your journey in the financial service industry. What inspired you to start Pearl Capital Management?
Well, prior to starting Pearl Capital Management, I worked at large institutions and had a lot of different men who were supposed to be mentors who said things to me that sounded more like, just go work as a bank teller, little girl, until you get a husband and you don't have to do this anymore. So I had a little bit of adversity going through the initial stages of trying to be a younger female in large institutions. And then once I felt that it wasn't just me, but then also some of my clients were in that kind of profits before people culture. And I had these firms saying, you need to sell these investments because that's going to make our company more money and not because that's what the clients needed. Eventually, after enough time in that industry, I just said, there's a better way. I can build something that is people first and women first. And so Pearl Capital is a female-only firm right now.
Wow. So basically, that's congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
So that's what basically separates you from your competition.
Well, I can't say that we're the only firm that only has female staff, and I can't say that I don't interview men, and if I find the right person for the job, I'll probably take them. That's just where life has led me at this point. But yes, being people before profits and not having shareholders that we have to answer to or quotas that we have to meet, that does set us apart from a lot of other institutions.
So tell me about your new venture that you recently started called Svvy. Is Svvy? Svvy?
Yes, Svvy. A play on the word savvy without the A. So it is a financial technology company. So we wanted it to have a fun four-letter unique name that we could try to get a trademark on. Patent pending, I guess, is what we say.
Yeah.
But Svvy is a passion project. So through Pearl Capital, I consistently received referrals of women who had been the victim of either a predatory salesperson who put them in an unsuitable investment product that wasn't good for their portfolio and for their financial health, or even worse, some of these women had found a modern day Bernie Madoff who got them in a Ponzi scheme and was stealing money from them. And so I became this safe place where these women got referred to after they were the victim of a financial crime. And I thought it was just me for a while. And I was like, this is what I created, is a safe place. And then I started doing research and I found that 1 in 4 women will be the victim of some financial crime at some point in their lifetime. And I realized it was actually a big national problem that I couldn't scale Pearl Capital to be big enough, fast enough to solve this nationwide problem. But I have a pretty strong passion. So I called my sister, whose whole career is in technology, and said, how can we build something to solve this problem in a scalable way, nationwide, so we can make a difference and change the world and save women from this. And so far, regulations haven't worked. Finance is so regulated. I've worked in this world for the last 15 years. Regulations aren't saving people. So I thought, why not build something and let women vote with their dollars and say, like, tell those bad guys, we don't want you anymore.
Absolutely. Because like even now you see a lot of it, women being a victim of this because of even like online dating, right? You go onto some of these dating sites and even online, and the first thing they want to be like, hey, they'll get you and talk to you, and then next thing you know, you hear the story. She's like, I sent $10,000 because he said his lights was going to get shut off, and here it is, it's a scam.
There's so many of them. And even I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to who fall for the gift card scams.
Right.
Oh, my boss sent me a text message to just go pick up these gift cards because my boss needed it. And why would your boss be texting you that? And then they make them text the number and they lose out on hundreds of dollars. It happens every day. And I hear about it because I'm in money. And so people actually tell me the things that they probably wouldn't normally say in public.
Wow. So tell me, you being an entrepreneur, female entrepreneur in the finance industry, financial industry, what are some obstacles that you had to overcome?
You know, I started as a licensed financial advisor in my early 20s, and I still looked like a little sorority girl at that point in time because I had just graduated from college. It was in the Great Recession, and it was a time when most people were leaving the industry, and I thought, I'm getting in. And candidly, it doesn't matter who you are, what you look like. If you show up and say, I'm brand new at this, I just started, trust me with your life savings, it's just going to be hard. So getting started in trust me with your life savings, I have no experience, is hard for everyone. The financial services industry has about a 1% retention rate out of 2 years. So 99% of people don't make it in this career. But then if you go into specifically being a female and young, we have even a lower percentage of making it in this industry because most people have a preconceived notion that their finance guy is a guy.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to accept that. And accept that people just didn't want to work with me because I was a woman, and they in their head thought they wanted the guy to help with their money. And I actually, early in my career, it was a struggle for me to accept that. Now that I am a mentor to other young women in the finance industry, I actually have told them there are enough people who do want to work with you because you are uniquely you, that you can't get hung up on the few people that don't want to work with you because they're looking for something different. And I use this analogy, usually when I'm mentoring, I don't usually say this publicly, but I say, I don't want a male gynecologist.
Right.
And yeah, it might be kind of sexist. It has nothing to do with him. It's just a personal preference. I have this idea of who I want. And unfortunately, that's my preference. And so if women come into this career and just know some people are going to come with their own preferences in that same way where you might have a doctor preference, and just know that there are plenty of people who need your help. Just focus on the people who actually want you instead of getting upset that some people just don't want you.
That's good advice, really. I mean, because like you said, people are going to buy into you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Don't get caught up in the preference or the sex or whatever. They're going to buy in it because they believe in you. So that's really good advice. What advice would you give to women that are aspiring to enter the financial service industry or pursue entrepreneurship?
Oh boy, it's a lot. Most of the things that are difficult with being an entrepreneur or even owning a financial firm are things that you're never going to learn in business school, that no one's going to teach you in a formal setting, that you just need to figure out something like how to be a good leader. Mm-hmm. And yes, there's leadership classes, but once you have this staff of people who come with their own issues, and some people might be going through health issues, which don't necessarily have to do with your job or your work or even the industry that you're in, but you need to make sure you know how to navigate this as a leader, as a mentor, as an employer, to make sure, because they're going to bring those things to work, and you need to figure out how to navigate through that and help create an environment that's going to be inclusive. And I never got training on that. And so I get a new challenge when it comes to leading a team and leading people every single week, that I can't get the answer on Google. I can't just Google it and figure out what to do. But surrounding yourself by other people who are also entrepreneurs who have seen some of these same leadership challenges, that's been a really good thing for me. So surrounding yourself with peers, that would be my advice.
That's good advice. It's definitely a mastermind class. You want to get around like-minded people. That way you could bounce ideas off of each other, and they might have some problems, or y'all could brainstorm it together. So definitely.
Mhm.
What are some current trends that you see in the financial service industry that people should be aware of?
Current trends. People are talking about interest rates consistently. Um, and most people who are talking about them are thinking about them in the negative way of, oh, it's harder to buy a house, interest rates are so high, mortgages are so expensive, and they're hyper focused on the negative side of high interest rates. But they're not talking about the positive side of higher interest rates, which is if you're at the right banking institution, some of these money markets are paying 4%, 5% on your cash. And I have to say it's November 1st of 2023 right now, in case someone listens to this later. But you can get a really good, a really decent interest rate on your cash from certain banking institutions, which is the positive side of high interest rates. So everyone's focusing on the negative, and that there's that trend, but I would love for people to start focusing on the positive. Get your money out of that big bank institution that's not paying you any cash, and start finding some of these other financial institutions that are willing to give you a high yield money market account or a high yield savings account. I personally have my high yield savings account at American Express. So they have a free, no minimum high yield savings account. That's the one I chose for myself if someone's trying to figure out where there is one.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, like I know for me, I moved from the big banks and I moved to credit unions. Rates are way, interest rate are way cheaper, anything, and like you're saying, investment on your cash is a little higher.
Yeah, and keeping your emergency money, you still need access to it. So it needs, like you said, it's at your credit union, you still have access to it. It's still your emergency money. But if you can make money on your emergency account, get it out of the checking and move it one step over to the high yield savings.
Right. Right. That's definitely it. How has mentorship played a role in your career? And are you mentoring others now?
I am mentoring people now, and actually, we're currently looking at hiring a recent college graduate with the plans to help mentor her through the process of growth in a career in finance, because you don't start out with a finance brain. You kind of have to grow into this career path. But as far as mentorship for me, I don't think I had great mentors. And I definitely didn't have any female mentors. So as I started out chatting with you, the mentors that were supposed to be mentors and the companies that were assigned to me were men that actually didn't say nice things to me at all. I think the only reason they mentored me is because they lit a fire inside me to say, I'm going to prove them wrong. That's about all I got out of it. But I do try to pay it forward and at least break this cycle, just because I didn't get mentors that were great for me coming through this career. I don't want other people to have to experience that. So I'm trying really hard to break the cycle and be a mentor.
That's good. I mean, we definitely got to reach back and pull people with us, as we continue our journey. And then you'll realize also you're creating your own community too, right? So mentorship is really positive. So what exciting new endeavors you have? I know you have the company Svvy that you just started. Any other new endeavors that you're going to be starting for 2023, 2024?
We are currently recording a financial literacy masterclass. So we are about halfway through filming, and we're doing it in a really big production way. So I'm very excited about it. But we are right in the middle of recording, so I haven't even fully branded it yet. So I don't actually have the name to announce it. It will be something around financial literacy, and because we've recorded about half of it right now, I know that it's not the freshman level course. So this isn't your 101, what is your credit score? This is more like the junior level class of how are the calculations calculated in your credit score, and what do you need to do to play with the system to make it better? So you'll want to have a little bit of fundamental knowledge on finance to take this class, but there's not a lot of information on the internet that is, okay, now let's go deeper on financial literacy, and that's what we're making.
Thank you. Wow, I can't wait to see it. So if people want to get in contact with you, what's the best way?
They can find me just by Googling my name, Jenna Biancavilla. I think I'm the only one of me, which is kind of a fun name to have. So they could find me under Jenna Biancavilla on Instagram or on LinkedIn or on Facebook, or even end up finding the Pearl Capital website or the Svvy.com website, and they can end up finding one of our services that way.
All right. Well, thanks, Jenna, for taking time out to tell your story. I really appreciate it. I'm sure the listeners appreciate it. And anytime you want to come back, you're always welcome.
Thank you so much. It was great being here.
No problem.
Diva Hustle Show. Yeah. Diva Hustle Show. Tune in to the